Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined, as always, by Keilyn. How you doing, man?
Great, and yourself? How about you? How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's Wednesday, right? So we can't complain. Just finished Hump Day. Yeah, just finished watching Game of Thrones Season 5. We're getting up there. We're almost to the end.
I can tell.
You can tell.
I can definitely tell we are getting to the end.
But, oh, yeah. Things are getting more dramatic, huh?
Right. And just in a bittersweet way. But in some ways that I absolutely appreciate, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess before we jump right into it, thank you guys so much for listening. We very much appreciate you. We are on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Sometimes do a Saturday show, which we will be doing this week to cover the making of episode of WandaVision. So please join us for that Saturday at 12 noon. But other than that, thank you. We very much appreciate you joining us this evening. We're going to get into a discussion about Season 5 of Game of Thrones. Now, Keilyn literally just finished this, right? I think you were just saying you saw the last two episodes today?
Right, within the last 2 hours, yeah.
Okay, so my first question will be, how has Season 5 compared to the seasons that you've seen so far? What do you think is different about it? Do you like it better? Do you like it worse? What's your opinion?
Wow. So first, my initial opinion of it is I can tell that Season 5, as you were saying before, it was like that was the end of the lore that was already written, the books that were already written. It feels like we're in a new book with the same characters.
Yeah, you know? A little bit of a different feeling, maybe a different style to the story.
Right.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Bit, yeah, everything just seems a little bit different. With all the same players, but a lot more mystery. And
yeah, they do start to throw a little bit more mystery out there for sure, and a little bit more of the monkey wrenches in Season 5. Like Season 5, King's Landing especially, it goes like a complete S show.
It's a different place.
It's a completely different place than it was in the first 4 seasons, which I think we'll get into, obviously. But so who do you want to start with first? Who's the character that you want to talk about first?
In this, it's really weird that I want to say by episode 6, I don't know why, but I already said to myself then, the first character we were going to discuss is Lancel Lannister.
Oh, okay. Yeah, made his comeback, right? We thought he was just gone, huh?
Listen, I thought Lancel just tucked his tail and went home and, hey, Daddy, I didn't like my time with the cousins. Can I stay home? He seemed like that type of a guy.
Right.
But, and forgive me for this, but Lancel found his group. He found his gang, so to speak. Like,
he certainly did that.
you find out in life, and this is why Lancel is that person who was raised in an environment that they weren't fit for. But then when they found their environment, it was so much better, so much so that it made the environment that they thought they were meant for look worse, look like trash.
Yeah, well, I mean, he fell for a cult, right?
He definitely fell for a cult, but I still think it makes him a better person considering the things he had to deal with, the family he's from, and all of those kind of things.
Yeah, the Lannisters definitely didn't help steer him away from that sort of cult embrace. They weren't exactly the nicest to him anyways. So, I could see where it's like, all right, well, my family doesn't like me, so let me just join these sparrows here.
Right. And also keeping in mind that Lancel, and so in the previews, they continue to bring up or continue to show Robert Baratheon, on the hunt when he got killed by the hunt, on the hunt, when he's laying in bed after the hunt. And I'm like, why is that in any way relative? And it's like, because that's because of Lancel.
Right.
And that was how that tied him in. And I was like, wait, why is that? So that again told me, like, what I realized is this particular season made me reflect on the past seasons, tie some things together, and I have a bunch of, that's why I said mystery, Because I personally have
Okay.
a bunch of theories now, like, oh, this is how this is working. And so with Lancel
Okay.
specifically, I think Lancel is on his way to becoming, they call the other guy the High Sparrow or the High Septon, or I think Lancel is on his way to becoming an authority figure of sorts when it comes to morality. I
Yeah,
think he's going to
well,
be faced with a choice soon, and that choice is going to give him a bit more clout than he already has.
yeah, well, he basically kind of started the Faith Militant, right? Because
Right.
Cersei actually started the Faith Militant, but yeah, he was one of the enforcers. So
Right. I saw him as an enforcer. Okay. So they are the first class of the militants. That part I did not notice.
yeah,
I did
pretty
not know.
much. Yeah, the Faith Militant is like the foot soldiers for the High Sparrow.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say that, yeah, he probably, did kind of find that position where he's now has more authority than even the queen, right? I mean,
Clearly.
yeah, yeah.
Very clearly.
And I thought that was really funny, and I'm sure we'll talk about the High Sparrow separately, but I just think it's pretty cool the way they sort of bring him into the story.
I feel like he was in the story in the earlier seasons, and I wasn't able to really pull from where, but his character definitely seemed like he was already there. He fit so well. That character fits so well into the frame of the story work already that it was a very pleasant entry, his character.
Yeah, it felt really natural. I mean, we had the sort of sept of Baylor before, but this is like this new sort of High Sparrow. He's like a reformer, and he wants to make sure everything is like super orthodox and
Right.
everybody doesn't, so he kind of like sees King's Landing as like a plague, a moral plague on Westeros.
Right. So we can go on because there's not much more on Lancel aside from him starting that. So yeah, right on to the High Sparrow. What I thought was most interesting about him, not his views, like he has all the same views that any clergy will sell you even today, right?
Right. Yep.
So that part I wasn't as surprised by. What I'm trying to find out is, where did he come from? Who was he originally? Who was he before he got into the faith? Because he knows so much about the higher class. And I think he was and I always forget, what do they call them? They don't call them the higher class. That's our words for it. They call it
highborn.
Highborns. I believe he is highborn family. And not like Lancel though. Like, Lancel's a cousin. No, I think he was an heir who decided, you know what, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he have a conversation with Cersei about his origin? Because I believe there
only
is
his religious origin.
Oh, okay.
Only his religious origin.
Yeah, where he talks about how he used to like party and he used to drink all the time, and then
and that's not saying much about who you were, but that in itself told me, because he doesn't seem like the murdering type, so that didn't make me think he was a knight or anything of that nature. That told me he had free range wherever he's from, because he also doesn't seem like a this is how I'm really getting into the show, because I'm starting to notice things like, okay, well, these people are probably from Essos, just based on the way they carry themselves, the things they go about. All the people from like Bravos and Dorne and all the places on that side of the world, they are very egotistical, very boisterous, and they let you know who they are and where they're from. All the people, it seems like, from Westeros, they're just like, either they're from the north or the south. Everything else in between doesn't matter. They're either from the north or they're from the south. Right. And if you're not from either of those, you're wildling, right?
Yeah.
So he gives me, again, the High Sparrow. He gives me the notion he would be the guy that makes the decision of casting the other guy who is he's not a Meister, but he does the experiments. He doesn't have a title, does he?
Oh, Qyburn.
Yeah, Qyburn. He didn't have a title. But
yeah, he's the Maester now, I guess.
Yeah, but he doesn't even accept that title. So
no, well, they stripped him of his maesterhood. So
right.
Yeah.
But so the High Sparrow seems like the type of guy who would see a guy like him trying to actually help, even though it's unorthodox, and see how everybody else is treating it. And he would be the guy who says, now I don't want to be a part of this. I'm going to turn to the faith, because the faith is definitive. It's at least straightforward. So he seems like that kind of guy to me.
Yeah. Well, he definitely seems like somebody who is kind of making up for his own debauchery,
For sure.
like somebody
For
who
sure.
kind of has a guilty conscience almost.
Mm.
But he's also very good about convincing um, people of his like piety, of his sort of like he's reformed and now he's almost above question when it comes to what the gods want, right?
And that's why
So
I
it's
think
like,
he's highborn.
yeah,
That
well,
arrogance.
and it's a really interesting take on the manipulation too, because it's like, well, are you above the scrutiny of the gods? Even though he says nobody's above the scrutiny of the gods, nobody's turning it on him.
Hmm.
Nobody's putting him in prisons and
Hmm.
making them walk down the streets naked.
Man, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But so another thing with the High Sparrow, he talks about how he is for the people, but you only see him doing works of faith with and for the people. You don't see him actually with or around the people. In fact, you see him very isolated.
Well, he was when you first see him, he was feeding the needy.
Well, but hey, listen, there's a lot of people that's down at the shelter giving food when the cameras is out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
There's a
think he
time. There's a time to do
sees
that when you know everybody's watching.
Yeah, I think he sees it more as a leveraging chip. Like
I,
if you
I
get
agree with that.
if you get the people on your side, then you have more power. And I think we see that basically throughout this whole season is
Mhm.
that the royalty in King's Landing is so awful that there's been a new patriarch that's able to come in and sort of say, "Hey, I can take care of you. These people are not the people that you need to follow." It's really a religious uprising, which I think is pretty interesting.
I mean, again, one of those things for me. It just seems fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I think it makes so much sense because throughout history, things change, right?
Mm.
We are. I wouldn't even say we're in the medieval era. We're like pre-medieval because we're still talking about magic and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that this is just one of those moments in history where religion becomes one of those things that people decide upon and or people run away from simply because we know the magic is coming. In the
Mm.
places where the religion has hit already, right? They still are in doubt that the magic is real to begin with, whether it be the dragons or the faceless men or any of it, the White Walkers even.
Yeah.
They don't believe in any of it. They hardly believe their own lore. They think it just to be stories to put the kids to bed.
Yeah. I guess I think there's a more of like a it kind of reminds me of the way like Catholicism and Christianity handled paganism. So it's like there were a certain level of old gods that, like the Northmen before the Valerians came to Westeros, like they all worshiped these old gods. And then what they did was integrate all of the old gods. That's why you have 7 gods
Right.
in the Sept. What they did was basically integrate all of the old gods into one religion, so that it would unify everybody basically. Because
It's
like
like the Old Testament, New Testament, basically. That's how I saw
yeah,
how I heard it.
yeah. Well, and so the light of the 7, the religion of the 7 is that there's these 7 gods that you pray to. Each of those gods is a representation of one of the old gods. So
Mhm.
like they have like the stranger, for instance. The stranger is a representation of the same god that the faceless men worship.
Right.
And you have like the crone and then
The
the
maiden.
king and the maiden. All
Mhm.
of those things are different aspects of different religions. So yeah, they really kind of make it an umbrella, and modernize it, I guess, a little bit.
Right. Well, and that's what I mean when I say the just that regular. That's what throughout history has always happened in any place, any religion. When there is an uprising, there are wars, then there's a religious uprising, then there's an intellectual uprising. Like it's just kind of like the sequence of events when you have a revolt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what I mean. Like I feel like this is just that time in this storyline, in this era. So And I say it that way because I started considering how many years have passed from season 1 to season 6, season 5. Well, yeah, just into season 5. So going into season 6,
I think like
easily
3.
I would say maybe 5.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't know for 100% sure, but I think it's about 3. So like if we mark Ned's death for the end of season 1, I don't think it's more than 2 years after Ned's death.
Well, this is the only reason I think it could be, because I think it was about a year at Ned's death, and then so I think season 1, right, was 2 years, like that fast, and then seasons 2, 3, 4 were the next 3 years. And the reason I say that is in season 2 is the season where Marcella was sent to Dorne. She says she's lived here. I've been here for years, is what she said.
Right.
That she's been here a few years. So I thought to myself, I was like, how many years? Because they said she was 11 when she left. Now she wants to get married. So she's easily 14, 15.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, because that is a weird metric, because then you got to think about like how long has Jon been at the Wall?
Even though he just looks like he hasn't aged a day,
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of the issue with having child actors too, where it's like they grow
They're
like,
aging, no one else is. Yeah.
Yeah. Exponentially over 2 years. They look completely different.
Wow.
So, I mean, like, yeah, I guess it could be like 5 years, but I don't know. I mean, like, it doesn't seem to me, because it's like, what, season 3 was when Rob died, right?
Yeah.
And so we probably haven't had that much time between the.
I said we're only about a year and a half after Rob's death.
Yeah, maybe that's about right. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I think that there was like a royal wedding and all that stuff. So there should be a little bit more time between.
Right. I think season 1, they pushed more years into season 1, and then they drug it, like they were able to stretch them out. As we said at the beginning of the entire review of everything, or as you said, excuse me, the budget changing and all of that kind of stuff, when they weren't sure at first if they were going to have more seasons, and then they got the bankroll. So it was like, oh yeah, we could drag this out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, the passing of the time is probably something that they don't even really mention all that much. If I'm thinking about it,
no, they don't mention dates or years or anything.
Yeah,
like
so it kind of is a little bit hard to tell, but yeah, probably 5 years at the most. 5 years at the most,
for sure.
Yeah, since Ned's death.
Good old.
But then you got to think about, then Arya's been out on the road for 5 years.
At least
that doesn't seem,
at least
that
3 or 4.
Right.
How long was she with the Hound? How long was she in prison?
Couldn't be longer than a year.
How long was she with Tywin? That was an entire war.
Yeah, I guess maybe. It's weird. It gets very strange.
And you think that was an entire war? How far did Arya and the Hound went from countryside to countryside, and then she went across the seas.
Right, but then it only takes.
And she's had time to learn an entire new skill.
But it only takes a couple months for Robert to ride up north to King's Landing. That's what I'm saying. So it's like
he had the fastest horse. Again, they were squeezing stuff into season 1.
I know. Yeah, they definitely were, for sure.
Because now think of how long a typical ride. Oh, we're gonna ride from here to Castle Black. I'll see you in 3 months. 3 months. All right. Cool. I mean, it makes sense now, but in season 1, that sound abnormal.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. So
we were at the High Sparrow.
Yes.
So which of his prisoners do we want to start with?
Well, I guess the first one he puts behind bars is Loras, right?
Sir Loras
Tyrell. Yeah. I guess we should probably say that Cersei's kind of the reason that all of this happens, right? She's the one that puts the Sparrow into power.
Correct. So Cersei's just pretty much what I see. Cersei got wind really fast, and of course, so actually let's go with that. We'll do Cersei with all of that and how it all plays out. So what I caught was at the very beginning of the season, that flashback to the witch. And the first thing, as soon as the disrespect started, I was like, ooh, that's Cersei. I was like, oh, that's Cersei. And her disrespect towards the witch, and the witch essentially letting her know what her future was going to be like, and telling her, you don't want to know this. You're not going to like any of these answers, because
Yeah.
Who wants to know their future? You can't change it.
Especially a future like that, right?
Right. And if it's that terrible, oh God, you rather it just happen. You don't want to know that ahead of time. You're gonna have 3 children. The king's gonna have 20 bastards. Excuse me. Wait. What about my children? Those aren't the king's children. What's going on with that?
Right.
You're gonna be beautiful and all of this kind of stuff, but there will be one that comes on that's more beautiful and more and more and more, and it's like, oh, Marjorie. Ooh.
Yeah. Sansa. And it explains why Cersei is the way she is. You know, like she's very threatened by this woman that's going to usurp her sort of power, because it's an inevitability for her.
Right.
Yeah, so, I thought the Maggie the Frog stuff was pretty interesting. She also says that, you know, she's basically said that all of her kids are going to die.
Yeah.
So
that's sucks because I like
one.
Tommen and Marcella. Oh well, I like Tommen.
Yes, Tommen's still around.
Ouch.
I know,
dang,
right?
I didn't even notice that until you said it, and I just realized, like, oh yeah. So, and we're not really on Cersei yet, but we're getting to Loras. So after Cersei we have her vision, and then we see her and the sparrows, and she's introduced to what a sparrow is and what's going on with all of that. And she sees a weapon. Like, let's tie into shows we're doing right now. She had a General Hayward moment, or a Hayward moment.
Right.
She saw a weapon, and she wants to figure out how can she use the weapon. And so, WandaVision reference, guys, for those who aren't aware. So, that's essentially what she just went through and did. And the very first thing was, oh yeah, I know of this one guy who does this, and he's really close. And so I want to say she actually started that. That was the end of season 4, wasn't it?
What, she started talking to the Sparrow?
Yeah. Or was that just really early in season 5?
Really, really early in season 5.
Really early in season 5.
I think I think the first episode is when we see the High Sparrow.
I believe so too. That's what I was thinking in my head. It was that episode 1 or 2. And it's weird. Episode 1s I always confuse with whether or not they were part of the season finale or the beginning of this season.
Yeah, they kind of pick up pretty close to the events prior to that. Yeah.
So once she said that, I knew she was going for Loras, because she's made it very clear she is not marrying that dude, and she will do whatever it takes to find a way out of it. And she told him, "Look, if I gotta out you, I'm gonna out you, because I ain't marrying you." She told him that.
Plus, she wants to screw over Marjorie. She doesn't like Marjorie at all. So she just wants to hurt.
Cersei likes anyone.
No. She barely even likes Jaime. I mean,
I don't think she likes herself. Hurt people, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Hurt people.
Yeah, so she can't really stand Marjorie. So Loras is kind of like the way that she thinks that she'll be able to have Marjorie, like to be able to control Marjorie. You know what I mean? Because her biggest thing is that she's realizing that Tommen is going to be under control by Marjorie because, he's a boy and that's his wife now. And, like she's going to be calling the shots. And she does not like that. So, yeah, I think she just kind of decided like, oh, let me throw her brother into prison and then maybe I can get some leverage there.
Right. I want to say, as we bring up the fact that Marjorie and Tommen are now married, I like that they didn't make their wedding such a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed it to be. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I like that. And it was very common.
Yeah. We already saw a Marjorie wedding anyway. So
we saw a Marjorie wedding and she's already lost 2 husbands. I'm just waiting for her to lose a 3rd.
Right.
I'm really just waiting.
She can't keep them, apparently.
Right. And it's like, it sucks because it's like, as much as Cersei knew her future, and she knew she would have someone like Marjorie come into play, what she didn't know is how bad Marjorie's luck would be.
Yeah, I mean, Marjorie's got some pretty terrible luck too.
And I think that's Granny's fault, but we'll get there.
Oh, well, yeah, she's definitely done her share of things for sure.
Yes, indeed. So Loras has been locked away. He was he caught he wasn't even caught in a brothel. He was at battle. He was practicing at swordplay training.
Yeah. I think yes, he was training. So yeah, they just grabbed him. They scooped him up, and then Yeah. So he's the first one to get locked up, and then does Marjorie get locked up after that?
So the way it goes down is they have the whole raid on the brothel, and then they go snatch up Loras. So by the time they raided the brothel, they've scared the crap out of the one guy whose name I can't remember at the time, but the gentleman who worked in the brothel who was fooling around with Loras on the side. So they've already roosted him, rounded him up. I think that's the word I'm looking for. But what happens with Marjorie is when Loras is locked away, she goes and she tries to get him released, goes to Tommen. Tommen can't do anything. Goes to Cersei. Cersei, oh, well, we'll have a trial, and well, I'll talk to the High Sparrow.
Yeah.
When they have the little sit down, I guess we would call that arbitration nowadays, right? That's what it is. I was just trying to figure out why the High Sparrow was being an arbitrator. Is he on trial or not? It's either, what are we doing here?
Right.
So, but when they're sitting there going through the back and forth of how are we going to do this, the auditing process, Loras is asked, has he ever slept in late with men? And he says no. Then Marjorie is asked if she was aware of or if she's ever seen or known, and she says no. And then they bring in the guy, and the guy says, "Oh yeah, me and Loras used to get fool around. Does anybody know?" And they ask him, "Has anybody ever known other than you?" And other than you two. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Marjorie walked in on us. She didn't seem bothered."
Oh yeah, that's right. He sold both of them out,
and that's how that's how both of them got locked up. So that's how Marjorie.
What a jerk!
Hey, listen. he saw 3 other men who have the same sexual lifestyle that he does get literally murdered in front of him.
That's fair. Yeah,
I think he did what he needed to survive, and unfortunately for the storyline, I don't blame him.
And I don't think he survived anyway. So.
I don't think he survived, but I don't blame him for trying.
Yeah. No, neither can I. That's for sure.
Because the fact that they caught him in there, I was surprised he was still alive, honestly.
Right. So they take Marjorie, and then Tommen's like all huffy and puffy, right? And he
hey, listen, she gave him what he wanted.
He throws his big boy fit, and that's when he goes with Jaime to the steps of the sept, right?
The sept, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to speak to the High Sparrow. He's eating.
Yeah. So ineffectual. Come on, Tommen.
Right.
And this is what happened when Tywin dies, right? Because they don't have a strong male character.
It's like they've been proverbially Ramseyed.
Man. So, all right. So let's try to get all the King's Landing stuff out of the way because we got a lot. We got a lot to cover.
And I say King's Landing is not the meat of this season either.
That's true. So Marjorie gets captured as well.
Yeah, Marjorie's captured. Tommen's irritated. He's whining to Mummy, and Mummy convinces him, "Oh, allow me to go and speak to the High Sparrow." And here's where I realized the Lannisters don't know when people are tired of their BS.
They certainly don't. Yeah, they definitely don't know when they've crossed the line.
and it makes you wonder, do they know that there is a line that exists? Aside from Tyrion, clearly Tyrion knows that there is a line that exists.
Right.
But even Lancel, I think they're afflicted. Even Kevin, the uncle, I think they are afflicted with something mentally where they don't know there's a line that you don't cross.
Yeah, well, I mean, they spend most of their lives thinking that they're the cream of the crop, right? So it's true. Like, they're just arrogant assheads.
Right. So from there with Marjorie, and there wasn't much. At one point, Cersei goes to visit Marjorie. That shouldn't have did that. But because she does that, she puts herself in harm's way now.
Yes, that's right. So Cersei then becomes imprisoned as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Now, this is after she's, of course, already sent Jaime off to go and retrieve Marcella. She's already it was something else she had done.
She's basically by herself. I think she sends her one of her family back to Casterly Rock, right? Yeah,
she sent the Uncle Kevin back to Casterly Rock, but when she got locked away, he came back. Pycelle actually asked him to come back to be the head.
Okay. Right.
But what else she does is dang it, I blanked again. But there was one other thing that Cersei did, and it wasn't as far as she sent Lord Tyrell to the Iron Islands.
Right, that's true.
And
Yeah, to go
with
to the Bank of Bravos.
right with Sir Meryn
Yes.
Trant.
Yes.
That's something we'll have to pick up on in a minute as well.
Right. Yes. Okay.
So
Yeah, so she kind of like spread all of her support system
correct.
too thin, and then that's how the High Sparrow was like, all right, well, nobody's coming for you, so I guess I'll take
Right.
you too.
Now,
Yeah.
if you ask me, that's gonna backfire. Frankenstein's monster. But
Yes, it's gonna backfire for sure.
so at this point though, Cersei got locked away in a prison for her crimes of incest and a million other things that I can't even remember. I just know that was like charge number one.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets a little smart by the end of the season after being, away in prison for a while. She won't eat. She's acting all tough. And the moment they close the door, she breaks down, sniveling and crying, licking the floor, trying to get the little bits of water. But when she's told to confess, and it processes a little bit to her. Well, if I confess for this, you got to show some type of mercy because I confessed.
Mm-hmm.
And she confesses to her crimes committed as she laid with Loras. That's all she admitted to, is everything that her and Loras did.
Yes.
And I think she thought she was going to get Loras in trouble. And it's like, yo, the reason you're here is because he already told all of this.
Yeah. That's not that's not even the worst of your crimes, lady. So
so far from. And I thought it was crazy how the High Sparrow was like, oh, but what of you and your brother? Like, oh, okay, so you do know. So you're not about to let her go, and then you still let her go when she denies it. It's like, who's going to prove that? You think Jaime's going to come back and say, yeah, we did it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think he needs the proof, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think her walk of shame, which I thought was trash, like.
Well, she literally got trash thrown at her. So,
no, for sure. She got what she deserved. But the reason I think the walk of shame was trash is it wasn't effective. I don't think, it wasn't effective. We know that.
It only served to do the opposite. Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah. Listen, here is your bonfire. Here is your tank of gasoline.
Yeah.
Tell me when.
Yeah, you just basically you made yourself the target for Cersei, and Cersei don't play. So
Cersei don't play that.
Yeah, she's not going to be very happy. She's not going to be very happy about that whole thing. And now that she's got the zombie mountain,
right? Zombie mountain is going to be so scary because regular mountain was very scary.
Yes,
and. What I think is interesting for Cersei is she comes into the season looking for a weapon. She finds an effective weapon that turns on her. And now she has another weapon that I'm sure will turn on her at some point. But for the moment, it's a freaking nuke.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, well, I can't say anything else.
Please don't. It's fine. I'm just going to say right now, from the looks of it, she has a nuke on her hands, or she's in a nuke's hands.
Yes, and she is going to be, revenge is going to be on the menu for sure.
Revenge.
Yes.
So from there, I want to say, what else do we have in King's Landing other than all of the Lannisters being locked away? Marjorie, Olenna is, so Olenna and the High Sparrow in their moment where I thought Olenna was about to kill that man.
Oh yeah.
I think she's gonna attempt. Right, she definitely doesn't like. I think she's going to attempt, but I thought she was herself going to take her two hands and try to kill that man right there.
Yeah, no, I mean she's not happy either. I mean he's definitely made himself the target number one in King's Landing. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how he handles that. But yeah, Olenna's pretty pissed. I think she goes back. She hasn't left King's Landing.
No,
right?
She's still in King's Landing, and now that Cersei's out, they may not like each other, but they have a common enemy now, and they're the two strongest people out there. So you do not want them both against you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think both of them have an interest in getting rid of this guy, even though it was Cersei that started the whole thing.
Hey, listen, how often have overseers and monarchies thought to themselves, that wasn't the way to do it. And then people just forgave them.
Yeah. Oopsie.
Right. We're sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. But But yeah, there's nothing else in King's Landing, I don't think.
No.
You just have like Jamie and Bronn going to Dorne, and that's kind of in the
Yep,
King's
that's the
Landing
next move.
vein. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the going from King's Landing, we pretty much go to Dorne for that. What were your initial thoughts for their trip in general?
Honestly, I don't really care. I didn't
Thank you.
care
Okay.
I didn't care about the Dorne storyline one bit because they don't give you a reason to care, you know.
The best part of the Dornish experience, I'll call it that. The best part of the Dornish experience was Bronn. And he
Yeah.
even said, and they understood, which is the best part of Dorne is the women.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And you get the sand snakes
Mhm.
in this series, and they
And-
poison Marcella, and
Well, so first they poison Bronn in their little scuffle as Bronn and Jamie finally get there to, try to take her back.
Mhm.
I wish Jamie had a hand because I would have really liked to see him in that guard fight.
Oh yeah, it would have been a wrap. I mean, I
That would
think,
have been amazing.
although I think, what is his name?
I did not
Shoot,
catch his name. In fact, I looked through my notes a few times. I was like, really? And
that
I
guy's
keep a
no
little.
slouch though. That guy's no slouch. The guy
Does he
with
have a
the
few more fighting scenes coming up? You can tell me that. It's not a spoiler.
it's you're talking about the King Doran's guard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's no slouch. I mean, like he's like one of the best warriors in Dorne, apparently.
Oh, he
So
kills the mountain. Cool. Thanks for telling me.
you wish.
I do. In fact.
Yeah.
And that's only because I liked the Dornish style of fighting. It was really
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah. It's a cool. See, the problem is that there could have been an opportunity for it to be a kind of a cool storyline, but like nobody really cared about rescuing Marcella, and then she just ends up dead at the end anyway. So it's like, well, why did we even go? She could have stayed alive if you just didn't go
If
try
you
to
didn't go,
take her.
right. Well,
I
no,
mean, like,
I think she was gonna die either way. We just weren't sure of how. And once the mother Sands, Oberyn's wife,
yeah,
once she knew that she was gonna be out of her range, out of her reach, she made that was a desperate move on her end at the end. That
too
was
desperate
so
though.
desperate. It was so desperate and obvious. I'm trying to figure out how did no one know what was going on?
Yeah, but what happened to Doran, right?
In what regard?
Doran Martell, the king of
Oh, the
Dorne.
king. Yeah, where
Yeah,
was he?
I don't know. They just owned. He just did, yeah. I think he gets up. Like, I don't know.
He gets upset and he leaves, but then he tells her no. He gets upset and he tells her either to bow to him. Oh shit. Oh sorry. Oh shoot. She killed him.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Oh, okay. So thank you. Okay, because I was trying to tiptoe around that because I didn't know if that happened in season 5 or season
Yeah,
6. But yes.
he says
Okay.
he says you're gonna bow to me or you'll die. I did not
Yes.
realize that's what happened until that. Okay, so she kisses his ring or kisses his hand,
Mm.
and then he rolls off about his way. Just a little bit later, wearing the exact same outfit, wearing the exact same lipstick, she kisses Marcella. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
assuming she poisoned him as well.
Oh no, that's not how he dies. So
Okay,
he
so no.
doesn't die. I guess he dies in the next season. Sorry, I spoiled it. But no, he doesn't die like that. But yes, he is
Okay.
about to die. So
But I
I
saw
guess
that
that doesn't
correctly.
matter.
She was wearing the same
Yeah.
outfit and everything.
Oh yeah, and she's going to be the one to kill him. So there you go. I
Oh,
mean,
of course. Listen,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I like her. I like her.
Illyria.
I like the sand snakes. They are kind of cool. What I don't like is the vigilante style that they take simply
Mhm.
because rather than even be vigilante, you don't have to be a part of the system. No one owes you that. And
Well,
you
and
don't
that you
owe anyone that.
you're going to overthrow your government and have no backup.
Right. And
You know,
it's not
like,
like they weren't giving you weapons, they weren't giving you an army. You were on your own anyway. There is no
yeah,
point. Her spite is solely because Oberyn's dead. And
yeah.
it makes me wonder, was she either waiting for Oberyn to die or was she already trying to topple everything and Oberyn stopped her?
I think Oberyn probably stopped her. She never liked Oberyn's brother. So Oberyn probably kept her away from trying to take over Dorne, but
which makes sense. He was always on the road with her, right?
Yeah.
Makes
So I think
perfect
maybe, but all obviously she's mad at Cersei for the Mountain killing Oberyn. So yeah, I just think
sense.
that
Be mad at Oberyn. He volunteered for that.
yeah, that whole storyline was kind of boring, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Jaime storylines in a lot of respects. Like I think the last one I enjoyed was with him and Brienne on the road to King's Landing again, but other than that, like I don't know. Jaime's storyline so far is not that interesting. So at least in my opinion.
I like Jaime's storyline, but I totally understand where there is no real excitement to it.
Okay, so we kind of done the Dorne stuff. I don't think
we're done with Dorne. There's nothing else.
We don't need to do anything.
Wait. Let me scan it. Dorne. No.
Yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing.
It's really nothing.
What's interesting about season 5 is that there's really you know what it is? People are starting to get together. So I think we'll have a better ability to kind of recap this in less than 3 hours this time because characters are starting to meet each other.
And there's there's a less storyline even though everybody's there. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. No, you're good. But that's exactly right. So it's like it's less of each character has a storyline that you have to follow and more of it like, okay, now this character is meeting this character and then they have a storyline together,
Right. Well, watch like Brienne's storyline doesn't really come into play until the end of Stannis's storyline.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. She doesn't even get much play at all this although she does. Oh man, I just forgot what happened to Sansa. Jesus. Oh man.
I forgot until you said that. Till your reaction was that I actually forgot that happened as well. So let's just get that out the way since it's there.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Sansa and the Lord Baelish, because I don't want to say the wrong words right now. Lord Peter Baelish is my number. He's number one on my list. Yes, that's right. I turned away from the camera into the microphone. Yeah. I have a list, and Peter Baelish is number one now. Like,
nice.
Dude,
as well, he should be. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, like selling Sansa to the Boltons was so shady.
It was extremely shady. Well, and what's crazier to me is it's shady on that end. Then you sold the dream of Stannis. You knew very much so and very well that there was no way Stannis could win that.
No, yeah, he wasn't going to win. Of course not.
Like when you saw how many men Roose Bolton actually had, it was like, what? Like, okay, you were lying to us, and we just listening to you talk.
Oh, he's just playing both sides, though. He doesn't care who wins. Yeah, he doesn't care who wins. He's just kind of
because he has a stake with everyone now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, with his selling of Sansa to Lord Bolton so that she could be married off to Ramsay, which does happen. What I thought was interesting was the hint that Baelish left with Sansa was essentially play your position until either Stannis kills him, and Stannis is going to make you the wardeness of the North either way because of his respect for your father, or after they win, just kill Ramsay. Who cares?
Right.
And it was like, you think it's that easy for her? Oh,
right.
Somebody who's from the killed
anybody to I know. I love.
She's never had to cut her own chicken unless no one kills something.
I know. She's barely even had to lie. Like the first time she lies is to last season. So it's like, how do you expect her to end? And of course, she has to deal with some really horrendous treatment from Ramsay. So I mean, you can't forgive Baelish for that. That's just.
No. Once that happened, that was actually when Baelish became number one after Ramsay did that.
Yeah.
Now, don't be misunderstood. It's Ramsay. I knew something was going to happen eventually.
Oh well, he's a monster.
The extent, was like, oh man, I thought there was a little bit of human inside there. I guess not. That's why you look like a gremlin.
Yeah, and then making Theon watch.
That part. I don't know how or why that made it so much more awkward.
Well, it's because he's known her. He's known Sansa since she was born.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah.
that's like his sister, basically.
That is his sister. No,
It really is. I mean, like, it's his adoptive sister, anyways.
For sure.
Like, and for him to have to see that, I think that, and I think it's interesting though, because that is the catalyst for Theon to actually come back.
Well,
you know,
I think from the moment he saw Sansa, I think the moment he saw Sansa, there was that little piece of him that was left that always knew. Because remember, after he killed the farm boys, we saw, oh shoot, he regrets it all.
Oh yeah.
He regretted it all. And
Yeah,
I think that little piece of regret was still lingering in there somewhere. And the first time Sansa walked by, he turned his head, but you saw his eyes get wider than they had been in a while.
Oh yeah.
You know? So I was not surprised at all that Theon helped Sansa at the end. I was surprised when he was supposed to help her the first time and he didn't. But
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I mean, you know, like I definitely get it. I'm just glad that I'm glad he actually did something at the end, because Sansa needed to get the hell out of there, man.
Fast. Sansa needed to get out of there very fast. And I didn't like Miranda anyway.
Oh no, yeah, that's right. She got shot, right?
She got thrown off the
she got thrown off the parapet. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, good on her.
Yeah. So
sorry about that.
So Sansa and Theon jump into, like, I don't know. I mean, they jump like 200 feet.
I still didn't understand. Like, I was looking at it and I was like,
that's a big jump. That's a big jump.
My wife's watching it with me and she's like, what are they? Why are they? Oh, why are they? I was like, this is me. There's something at the bottom that they saw and we didn't.
It's better than where they are, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
the only thing I thought was they lived there so long, they have to know something that nobody else does.
I think it's just that the winter is finally coming and that the snow is so thick that it's like feet of snow. So perhaps they just figured that they'd be safe jumping.
Hey,
I think that's what it is.
Maybe. Hey, I know for a fact a broken leg is better than living with Ramsay Bolton. Or Snow, or whatever you want to call him.
Yes, it is. Definitely it is.
I mean, Roose Bolton at least seems a lot more empathetic, because the fact that his wife is pregnant, I thought for sure he was going to find a way to get rid of her. He seems so
very faithful to his wife.
Yeah. It's like he seemed very disgusted, but he now seems very content and faithful to his wife. Like, no, this is my wife. And I think what it is he's old style warrior. You know, he's an older guy. It's about oaths. It's about his word. He gave his word,
right,
that he would do right by her, and he's doing right by her. That made me want to like Roose Bolton when his wife was pregnant and how proud he was of her being pregnant. I was like, oh, that's dope. And then I was like, wait, that's Roose Bolton.
Yeah, and he killed Talissa while she was pregnant.
Man, I forget.
Yeah, never forget. Talissa,
right, never forget. Talissa, man, that was tragic.
So what do you think is going to happen to Theon? And I know that we're outside of season 5, but what do you think is going to happen to Theon and Sansa?
I am honestly not sure. I don't know what's going to happen to Theon and Sansa, but I do know that they're going to find Bran before they find Jon Snow. And by the next time we see Jon Snow, right. But by the next time we see Jon Snow, I have theories. Well,
we can just call him
Jon
John
Snow
Ice.
will be last. Yeah, John Ice.
They just put him on ice.
Yeah, he's definitely on a cold slab right now.
Yeah.
But I have a theory about Jon Snow, so let's push him to the end.
Yeah.
So from there we have Sansa. Sansa and Theon are on the run now.
Yes.
Right?
They have escaped Winterfell and they're on the run. Better than being anywhere near Ramsay. So
much better. And what's crazy also to me is I don't think Ramsay was aware of how much he was like. His dad kept trying to tell him, like, you're not helping yourself by bringing that animal around.
Yeah, you're pushing your luck.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because he continuously wanted to jog Theon's memory of all the terrible things he did and who he was. And it's like, You don't do that when you've already broken the brain,
Yeah.
when you've already broken a person.
You won already, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like now you're just jostling the bear. Like, ooh, can I break you more? Can I break you more? At a
Mhm.
certain point, either someone's gonna give up or they're gonna fight back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And it finally happened. So I'm
And he
glad.
finally, yeah.
I'm glad Theon sacked up. No pun intended. And
No pun needed. There's nothing there.
yeah, it's true. No pun can be had for that one, actually.
That is the worst. So
So they have that. That's so yeah. So I guess do you want to talk about Arya or do you want to talk? Because we got the way I see it, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to keep tally in my head.
okay.
We have Jon Snow.
Okay.
We have Arya.
Yep.
We have Daenerys.
Daenerys and Tyrion, yeah.
Tyrion, yes. Tyrion kind of is on that same sort of like
right.
And like merging path thing going on.
Right. But we'll have to do Tyrion because of where he began in the season and where he ended in the season.
Yes. Yes.
He's the only person that I think actually had a journey through this season. Like a real emotional journey.
John's got it.
Oh, sorry. Yes. And Jon. I apologize, Jon. Oh, Jon Snow. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. But I agree with you. I think everybody else kind of has very small progress throughout this season. So yeah, especially Daenerys.
Oh yes.
She ends up in season 1 at the end of the season.
But yeah, basically, with everyone around her.
Yeah.
That's funny. Pun intended on that one.
Yeah.
But with everyone around her and the changes with that, I will say, long live Grey Worm.
Oh yeah. Torgo Nodo is a G.
My guy.
Sure. Yeah. He took that dagger in the back.
Yeah, he did. And I like how he woke up mad that his boy wasn't there no more too. Like Sir Barristan. Oh, yeah. I felt him.
He was not happy about that.
I felt my boy. I like that. That was He wanted to get up and go in that. Anyway, we're not there yet. So Arya. Or no one. Or someone else.
A girl is no one.
A girl is not ready to be no one, but a girl is ready to be someone else.
That's right. Well, not at the end.
Oh, not at the end. At the end, a girl has embodied being no one.
Yeah, for sure.
See no evil as well.
So Arya makes her way to Braavos in the House of the Black and White, right?
Yes.
And she tries to gain entry, and some guy answers the door and closes the door, and then you get that sort of like cliche student sitting outside of the dojo waiting for the master to let them in sort of thing.
Who did it better, them or Marvel?
I mean, I think everybody's done it at one point, right? It's like every story has that sort of like motif to it. And she finally gets let in by who we find out is Jaqen H'ghar. He is back. Finally, I can say that he's back. I'm very happy about that. There's a lot of quiet moments in the Arya storyline where it's like she's sweeping and cleaning and kind of learning about what the House of Black and White does. And what we find out that it does is that it's kind of a euthanasia service for Braavos. So it's like when people want to go die, they go to the House of Black and White so that they can be killed by the faceless men and basically added to the wall of faces or whatever.
Yeah. So, when I realized that they were the real life Leatherface, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're actual faces. Yeah. Yeah.
That was spooky.
Yeah. Taking the faces off of people. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
So with the House of Black and White, it was very interesting to me that you only have what it seems to be about 5 adult males and these 2 little girls. And then we at the end, I'm not even sure if that's another little girl or if Arya is the only little girl, or does anyone else even really exist?
That's a good question. I don't know what happens. Like what they at the end, honestly, doesn't there? I don't think there's an explanation for what happens. So like Jaqen.
So does she go blind?
Well, no, she goes blind for sure.
Okay.
But I don't understand the whole Jaqen like committing suicide, but then not committing suicide. I didn't get that part.
I think that was a lesson to let go of even having a teacher
or an identity at all.
Yeah, because even basically you're learning from who you need to learn from. It doesn't matter if it's Jack and Hagar or Meryn Trant.
Right.
You're learning the way you need to learn, just like she learned from the Hound, just like she learned from I forget his name from Bravos, the sword.
Syrio Forel.
She learned. She's been learning along the way. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And I
that's
think
true. Yeah.
that is a part of her story more so than she's realized. And what happened when she got to the House of... I think what happens when you get to the House of Black and White isn't some mysterious thing that everybody's going through. No, everybody's going through something very different, and it's reflective of their own life.
Yeah. There's a lot of mystery around the House of Black and White. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of explanation.
I like that.
Maybe in the literature there's more explanation, but it's left very ambiguous as to how the magic works and you know, like what is really going on there, which I definitely do like too. I don't, you know, some things should be mysterious. We don't need everything explained for us.
I mean, it also reminded me of a Djinn labyrinth or a genie lair.
Yeah, it's very like cold and stone and
ancient.
Like ancient, but then there's like big rooms full of nothing, you know what I mean, like, and one fountain. You know, it's like Arya spends all of her time Arya spends all of her time in that fountain room just sweeping, you know, or cleaning bodies. Yeah, like yeah,
that part at first was very weird. No, not at first. It was all the way around just weird.
Yeah, so they're kind of like morticians almost, where they embalm the body and then like take the face.
Right. But at the same time, I would say they're more like vampires that don't suck blood, because with the mortician side and taking the face, but then there's still the murder side.
Yeah, you know? They're still assassins. Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I think that more so plays into it as well, is if you're an assassin, how do you get rid of the body? And if you're a real assassin, how do you never get caught?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
interchange faces.
Right. And you know, this isn't the League of Shadows or anything, so you don't have a Lazarus pit. You might want to just not get killed or caught to get killed.
Yeah.
So
Arya gets to play the game of faces with the waif. She's kind of learning stuff. She's kind of frustrated though too, and she has to kind of give up all of her possessions, even though she doesn't.
Which, hey, listen, I get it, but I don't think she understands how that's going to hold her back. Even just that one little action of holding on to the sword and stashing it, that's that thought that you'll never be able to let go. And guess what? At one point, sometime when you go back for that and you have it, somebody's going to say, hey, wait, I know whose that is. I know who you are. Oh, no, I'm not that person. And nah. I see through the facade. I know who you are.
Wearing You're wearing Arya Stark's clothing. You have Arya Stark's sword.
Now, if she's lucky, though, right? If she is very lucky, the only person that will notice that sword when she absolutely needs them to will be Jon Snow or Jon Slap Eyes.
They're across the world from each other, and Jon is dead. So
for now, only for now. So what happens with Arya, and this is where I thought it was very interesting. It wasn't that she so much passed, as we said a minute ago. She didn't pass the test, so to speak.
No,
but she did enough, right? But she absolutely did enough to show that she was worthy of a task, right?
Kind of.
Kind of. So what she does is she's baiting the guy, the thin man. She's supposed to take out the thin man, and then she sees Meryn Trant.
Right.
And as soon as she saw Meryn Trant and just started ignoring the thin man, I promise I had both hands on my face, like, no,
what are you doing?
No. Right?
Yeah.
And
just follow your task once, Arya. Just
one
listen.
time.
Just listen.
Just one time. And I think had she done that, she probably would have been granted Meryn Trant.
Yes. Had she taken out the thin man like she was contracted to, Jaqen could have been like, oh yeah, you want to go take care of that guy? Go ahead. He's already on your list anyways.
Right.
that name has been named. So
Right.
according to Jaqen, like that's fine. You can kill that person.
Well, and
So
something I think is something else that's happening. I don't think Arya understands. You may have a list, you may have named names, but I don't think you can kill the names you name.
mm, I
I
mean,
don't think the God of Many Faces works that way, or Many Faced
well,
God works that way.
she just killed Maren Trant.
And what
So
happened?
now she got her eyesight taken away from her, but
Yeah.
she
And
still
what did she
knocked
do?
somebody
How
off
did she
of her
kill him?
list. Huh?
Yeah, but how did she kill him?
She took his eyes.
She
Yeah.
took his eye. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it was too cool. It was too coincidental for it to be like, oh, you really don't understand what you have aligned yourself with.
Yeah, well, I think Jack and Hagar made sure that she went blind because she took Maren Trant's eyes.
Right.
I think that was for sure the reason. I don't think the Red God cares that much.
Okay.
I think Jaqen cares more because she missed a contract, and that makes the faceless men look bad.
Look bad.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? So it's like you disgrace the guild. So like
Mm,
even though the even though the faceless god is happy that there's another face, you still didn't do right by the guild.
the
You
way it's
still
supposed to
didn't.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a contract to kill this guy and you didn't do it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't even consider the contractual side of it.
Yeah, because you got to
That
think
makes
like
sense.
the faceless men are really only legendary because they complete their contracts, and if you're
Right.
not completing a contract, then word gets around, and then you lose your reputation.
That makes sense to me. Because
Hmm.
it definitely she still got work to do. But so
Yeah.
something else about that moment, or not that whole thing with Maren Trant in general.
Hmm.
Ew.
Yeah. Ew. Real ew. I know. I
Like
mean, I don't feel bad that he's dead.
I don't feel bad that
You
he's
know?
dead at all. I'm just
Yeah.
like Game of Thrones. I know I'm now just talking to the ethereal version of Game of Thrones for the last few seasons I haven't seen. Knock it off.
Yeah. Stop it. Get help.
Just get help. Right. Stop it. Get help.
Yeah.
Please.
We don't we don't need any more child predators. Yeah.
I don't even want to start on 2021. So
Luckily, I think that is the last of the child predators in the entire show. So I
I
think,
mean, hey, the way she killed him, I hope the message is sent.
well, no, that is not true. There is one child predator left, and his name is Stannis. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, there is one. There, you're right. There is another Lord Baelish.
Well, yeah, Baelish is a scumbag and awful. So
Definitely
yeah.
not against it.
No, me
He is
neither. He
definitely not
could get it
against it.
too. Yeah, he could definitely get that faceless men treatment if for all I care. That's for sure.
So from there, let's see. So that's Arya. Baelish is trash.
Baelish is trash. Yes, he is.
um Sansa has gotten everything she needs as far as storyline and lore and background and who to alert and how to alert. And now she's escaped.
Yes.
Arya messed up her contract. Now she's blind.
Yes.
Pod and Brienne had them a touchy type of discussion, and everything got much better there. Stannis
Yes.
and the group, they left Castle Black, and I think that is where we are. Stannis
Yes.
in Castle Black, along with Jon Snow in Castle Black and the Wildlings, and then
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion,
And
Jorah,
Daenerys.
and Daenerys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Grey Worm.
Grey Worm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so let's see. Who do we talk about?
Well, we're gonna. It was straight to. I just wrote that down. So we're not gonna get to Daenerys first. So let's. Where were
Okay.
We both just did that, huh?
Yeah, we just finished up sort of talking about
Maren Trant,
Arya.
Arya,
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, we could
yeah.
just we could do the Stannis, Jon Snow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, we
So
can do it.
at first they're all at Castle Black after they've the Wildling situation and Mance Rayder is dead.
Yeah.
And Mance Rayder is dead, guys, because Mance Rayder had a lot of pride, not because he didn't want to help his people, but he wasn't going to kneel.
We do not
and
kneel.
we do not kneel. And
Mhm.
so Stannis was burning him alive, and Jon Snow showed mercy and shot him in the heart with an arrow.
Yeah.
That set us, in my opinion, a series of things off. It set the honor code with Stannis, because Stannis now knows who Jon Snow is, and Jon Snow denied being named Jon Stark, which only a king can do. I don't know why he didn't take that.
That frustrated me so much, especially after this season ends. I'm like, dude, you could have just gone to Winterfell.
Well, Stannis told him two different things. One, either take this and get away because you got a lot of enemies here, or move your enemies away from you. He did neither.
He did neither. Yeah,
he did neither.
That's true.
And so, once they get the Castle Black thing, once they get Castle Black settled, and they're all trying to figure out which direction they're going to go, how long is Stannis and the army going to still be there, along with, Sam and Gilly, getting some Sam and Gilly going on. I thought that was pretty stupid, but
skip them.
Just skip them. All right, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm only gonna skip
Sam and
them.
Gilly don't need to be mentioned.
I was right. I'm only gonna skip them because I just get the feeling that there's gonna be a lot of Sam and Gilly information in season 6. So no Sam and Gilly then.
Yeah.
And I know there's something big coming with Sam. Can't tell me any different. I'll fight you for it. So I won't fight you, for the record. So when you have Stannis and they go on their march for Winterfell, they basically get snowed out. They get snowed out so bad that they're losing horses to the cold of night, the dead of night.
Mm-hmm.
And then a decision is made because Stannis is told by his evil witch lady, with her seductive ways, oh, only if we utilize this in the king's blood, and the king's blood courses through, and the king's blood, there's king's blood and king's blood of king's blood.
Mm-hmm.
King's blood, trifle. Anyway.
Always about the king's blood.
Always about the king's blood. And as the king's blood conversation continues, he starts to understand that the king's blood she's speaking of is inside of his daughter, and she is asking him to make his daughter a martyr for his war so that he will be victorious. Thus saith the Lord of Light.
Yep.
Well, let me tell y'all how that goes down. Don't go down the way you think it goes.
It doesn't go down the way you think it goes. That's for sure.
So
it kind of backfires.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Pun intended on the backfire.
Yeah. Shireen had a lot of fire on her back.
Didn't she? My gosh. So they burn Shireen at the stake, burn her alive in front of the entire army.
Pretty effing brutal. I mean, and like they didn't even hold back in the scene. They were just like, no, you're gonna watch a girl scream for her parents while she burns alive.
And I literally was just like,
yeah, no, they didn't cut away. They didn't like give you an imagination, like, oh, fill in the blanks on what happens. No, they show you exactly what happens. Like
blood curdling screams and all.
It's so brutal, man. Poor Shireen. What a sweet kid she was too, right? Like, oh man.
And that's why they sent Davos away.
Oh yeah, of course.
When Davos finds out from someone, so what happens is after Shireen is burnt at the stake, like she's some kind of a witch or something, the next morning, half of the army is gone. So there's a bunch of people running the world now who are well aware of what Stannis did.
Yeah.
And the person who convinced him to do it is maybe like 20 yards away from where Davos is right now.
Yeah.
And he already don't like you.
Oh, no. He already hates her. Yeah.
Sure. So what happens is after Shireen is killed, murdered, we're going to call it what it is. The next morning, Stannis wakes up and is told half of his army has gone.
Mm-hmm.
He is then approached by another gentleman who doesn't even want to tell him what's going on and just takes him to the scene of his wife hanging from a tree in the forest.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my God. Yeah. She hangs herself afterwards.
Because actually, for once, showed that she loved her daughter right as her daughter was midway on fire. I think once the flames got above the waist, then she remembered that was her kid.
Yeah, she kind of snapped out of it, right? Or she was like, "Oh my God, what are we actually doing here?"
And it made me wonder. So Is it her devotion to the Lord of Light, or is she under some kind of a spell from Melisandre?
Yeah, or just like some cult brainwashy stuff, where it's
Right.
like it took seeing her daughter being burned alive before
To
she
break her out of
realized, yeah, like what the heck was going on,
it.
which can happen if you got brainwashing situations. Like, people will do crazy things and then only realize it after they've done something terrible that they would
Yep.
never do. So,
Manson case.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, and so it's like you basically Stannis burns his daughter, and then he loses half of his army, and then the other half gets killed by Ramsay, right?
I mean, well,
Doesn't
so they lose a
Ram?
bunch of people in the night because
Yes,
of Ramsay,
yes.
and then people leave after he burns his daughter, and
Mhm.
then when they push on to Winterfell, either way, it's not just Ramsay; it's the entire
The
Bolton army.
North. Well, and just the
Oh yeah,
North.
all the North, because
Yeah,
at that they're all
Bolton.
Bolton's
Yeah.
bannermen at that
Uh-huh.
point.
Yep.
So yeah,
Exactly.
and that's the part I didn't understand. It was like, wait, so everything, if you know what Roose Bolton has, which we know Baelish does, everything Baelish was saying was a lie.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was he was bullshitting Sansa.
Well, not just Sansa, Cersei as well. He told
Well,
Cersei
yeah.
the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
But yeah, he knew Stannis wasn't going to be able to handle that.
right. And so, after they're cut down and Stannis takes on two guys and gets them out of the way, and he just sits at the tree, kind of dying. In walks Brienne, right in time to get. And it was
Perfect timing.
perfect timing. So
Yeah.
she was kind of waiting on Sansa to kind of give her the signal. It never came. So
Mhm.
she was like, "Yo, all right, screw it. Let me go after this dude." Since Pod seen him and his boys coming.
Yeah.
She cuts him down, or at least that's where it ends. Is her swinging his sword towards him. So I can only assume that Stannis is dead right now.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what that ends. Brienne apparently gets her revenge for Renly,
Yes.
who a little earlier in the season she had told Pod when they had their touching moment. She told Pod about how her and Renly became friends.
Yeah. He was like the one guy that was nice to her.
And revealed that no, she truly was in love with him, but not in the way
Mhm.
that people would expect, because she knew that that wasn't something that could happen.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very touching story.
Yeah. She kind of loved him like a best friend sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So and that's pretty much the end of Stannis.
That is
the end of Brienne for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
She's still alive, at least. We
Yes.
don't know if she's gonna see the candle that Sansa left in the window and think that she's still there, right? And she's gonna run into Winterfell, where Sansa no longer is.
Where Sansa no longer is. Brienne is always behind, isn't she?
Somehow, some way.
She's kind of always screwing up the situation for the Stark girls. Like she screwed up the Arya, and the Hound, and then now she screwed up like Sansa's situation.
Well, she hasn't really screwed up Sansa. Well, yeah, as far as
did by not being at the thing and looking for the candle. I'm sorry. Like,
because she was there when she had just stayed on her post.
yeah, she said she would stay there until she saw that candle. So
I'll stay here.
Yeah.
Lies. No, I'm like buggery. So from there, what do we have? Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
So Stannis is out of the way, and we are now to the Jon Snow saga. Jon Snow and Tormund saga, and Alistair, if we must.
No, Alistair.
Alistair sucks.
Hate that guy. Yeah.
Extreme.
He's the
hate him even more now.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And poor little Ollie.
Oh no, forget. Ollie. Screw Ollie, man.
Oh no, I'm sad for Ollie's mental health.
I'm sad for Ollie's future. That's all I gotta say.
For sure, he has no future. I know that much.
Right.
He has no future. But his mental health, it's not there, man. That kid is a puppet.
Oh, so how'd you like Hard Home?
Do tell.
Hard Home is when Jon and Tormund go out to get the wildlings.
Yes, that is exactly what we were getting to. That is my next stand. So first, I thought it was very cool how Jon has this, I wouldn't say a power of persuasion, but Jon is just so forthcoming and honest and straight. Like, look, you ain't got to like what I'm talking about and what we're going through, but your people is going to die.
He's a leader.
He's a real leader, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Mhm.
would you like your people to die?
Yeah.
Or would you like to, sack up?
Come with us and survive. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Convinces Tormund to go take him to, you said it's called
Hard Home.
Hard Home. Hard Home.
Mhm.
Wow. See, I don't know how I never even heard that name in the whole series. I don't remember him saying that. But so he takes him to Hard Home. They get there, and you find out that there are thousands of wildlings just chilling in a little village that they've made for themselves on the side of a mountain at the water, just kind of waiting to let the war siege on.
Yeah.
And as they're discussing amongst the elders and getting everything done, and half of them agree and the other half don't agree. Mostly the Finns don't agree, which doesn't surprise me. They're cannibals. Why would they want to stop killing humans?
Yep, exactly.
It doesn't make sense to me. Listen, I don't go and kill my own cow or my own chicken, but I like meat. So if you tell me, and don't get me wrong, I love vegetarian meals and stuff as well, but I like meat. Yeah. So if you tell me that I have to move somewhere where I will no longer be able to eat my choice of meat because I don't like horse, I like cow. Now, never. I'm not going to speculate, but that's what I think the Thins are up against. Like, they don't want to change their diet. Period.
No, of course not. And they're just wild people that want to be able to kill and pillage and stuff. So
correct.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is, as the people who want to leave are leaving, and the people who don't want to leave are looking at them with snarls on their face, you hear a raging on, so to speak. It was almost like
a rumble.
A rumble, yeah. It was a omniscient rumble. Let's call it that. Mm-hmm. And you start is there an avalanche? What is that? So much so, Jon Snow and a lot of other people just kind of started looking back, and then it became very obvious. Oh, that's an army. And they're heading our way. What kind of an army? A dead army, not an undead army. A dead army.
A dead army. White army. Yeah.
And they come in a short burst at first. And you look up and you see, I want to say that would have been 4 generals atop, and then there were a few more generals down low.
Yeah.
And the king as well, correct?
Yeah, the Night King is at the top.
With the short head, the little tiny spike. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So and I figured that at the end when he made everybody rise that he was the king. So what I understood, but I didn't understand, was the wildlings were so confident, as if they had a plan. They didn't have a plan. Like, not even a slight plan.
No, and they had no defense too.
Right. And so it really
just got overrun by whites.
Right. And with all the dragon glass that they had as well, it was like, you guys aren't even going to try to use this. Like, you guys want to die.
Yeah. They don't know.
It was like one of those situations of like, hey, excuse me, Jon Snow, I know you're trying to keep us alive, but I'm gonna go over here and die and let you finish telling us how to stay alive later. Like,
right. Yeah. It's silly, man. They got slaughtered. They totally got slaughtered.
Absolutely.
But we find out something interesting is that Jon has the ability to kill a White Walker, though.
And I don't think it was the Valyrian steel.
It was.
Oh, it was the bugger.
Valyrian steel kills White Walkers.
See, I have that written down here. That Valyrian steel kills White Walkers like dragon glass. I was just hoping that it was something special about Jon Snow.
No, not necessarily. It's just the Valyrian steel sword.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, but they're so rare now in Westeros. It's like if you don't have a Valyrian steel sword or some dragon glass, you're screwed. There's no way.
These are all things that were forged in Dragon Fire, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dragon Fire seems to be the biggest.
Right. As I originally thought, then the dragons are the key to getting rid of the White Walkers. Cool. See, some of the stuff isn't that hard to figure out. And watch me be wrong, but
No, you'll see. You'll see.
And what I thought was very crazy was, is it me, or does the White King or the Walker King, whatever the whatever his name is,
the Night King,
does he not seem to have take a liking to Jon?
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay, not just me. Because it was like, bruh, all these people out here fighting. Why you?
Oh, he recognizes something. He recognizes something in Jon for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that leads to part of my theory about Jon Snow. So yeah, here we are with Jon Snow. This is what I didn't understand. You get everybody on the boat. You get out of there. The Night King makes everybody rise. You see exactly how large their army is, and you realize you're outnumbered no matter what.
Oh, no matter what.
No matter what. Even when you get to the other side of the wall, you link up with Stannis and the boys. Guess what? You're outnumbered.
Still, yeah.
Easily 10-1, even then.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
So what I don't understand,
and the more they kill, the bigger their army gets.
Right.
So yeah.
So what I didn't understand was you go back to the wall with the wildlings and y'all just chill now?
That's all they got, at least. At least the wall is kind of a semi-protection for right now. You know, that was the huge issue at the wall, right? It was like they don't want the wildlings to come in, but at this point, it's like, do you want them to just be added to the army of the dead? Do you want just more people because that's what's going to happen if you let them stay over there? That's
what's happening anyway.
It already happened pretty much. Like, so at least let these people go through so that we have some less dead army, to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, so, which of course they didn't like that logic, and I think that it kind of pissed me off because I'm like, okay, you guys seriously, like,
you don't.
Why are y'all pissed about Jon letting the wildlings in?
Don't want to live.
Yeah,
exactly. That's how I viewed it. I viewed it as some people clearly do not want to live.
Yeah.
And stupidity is a very fast way to get to death.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's I guess Jon too.
Yeah. So Jon, by not following Stannis's suggestions and not really keeping his head on a swivel, listen, you knew Ali was mad at you, bro.
Yeah.
You know Ali not your boy no more. You can't just take his word for nothing.
Yeah.
So when they come and say to Jon, oh, there's a wildling that says he knows where your Uncle Benjen is. This is me. No joke.
Oh yeah.
See, I was already irritated by them putting Benjen in the storyline coming into the episode. I was like, why is Benjen? They better not show me a White Walker Benjen.
Oh right.
I was like, I better not see a white. Like, I'm irritated.
Benjen. Yeah.
And I was even more irritated in the way they utilized Benjen in this part. So you tell them, oh, he knows where Benjen is and he's still alive. And oh, really? Where? Word. And now I got a little plaque here that say I'm a traitor.
Yeah. And what was Ghost doing?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Why wasn't Ghost being like, hey, dude, don't go with them. They're bad news.
I think Ghost was Sam and the baby.
Oh, maybe.
I think. I'm not sure, but I think. But so after that, they commenced to killing him. Like, not like, oh, we're gonna kill you, Jon Snow. Like, no, on some real sucker stuff. Like
we're all gonna take a turn stabbing you in the chest.
Yeah. What is this? This a game of CeeLo? We practicing shooting craps? No, you're trying to murder me.
For the watch.
Yeah. For the watch.
Yeah. Dude,
I was so upset, but at the same time confused as to the purpose of this, because you just killed Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Okay. You have now lost your best fighter on the wall.
Yeah.
And your best tactical mind, if we're being honest.
Yeah. But Alistair is just a jackass, and he's got his little clique that thinks that he could be a better Lord Commander, because we glossed over the fact that they elected Jon as Lord Commander, Commander of the Night's Watch. So that kind of added to the reason that they wanted to assassinate him. Even though Jon gave mercy to Alistair, although he chopped Janos Slynt's head off. So that was probably the thing that really kind of pushed them over the edge.
I mean, but wasn't that the right thing to do? Isn't that law?
It was. He was refusing an order.
That's the same law that they wanted him to follow the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't even understand. Oh, he asked because I'm mercy, Mikey, mercy.
Mercy, you were talking real reckless about 20 seconds ago. You know?
Here's your mercy. I'm gonna take it from the
Yeah.
hip to the shoulder.
I'll make it quick. There's your
Right.
mercy. Yeah. Yeah.
Um.
But I mean, that's like the Ned Stark in Jon, right? Is
Right.
like he is very much a stickler about your word and your oath and your
Another
honor.
thing Stannis told him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Got you. Now, oath and loyalty got your father killed.
Yep. Yeah. And it did. And Stannis was effing right, man. Jon should have just gone and became the Lord of Winterfell.
I agree. And if he had done that, guess what? He would have found his sister.
Yep. He would have found his sister. Yeah.
Look,
So it's a little bit
blood now, Jon Snow. Oh, also
infuriating.
Right. Also, this is something. Okay, so let me get into a little bit of my theories about Jon Snow. Then we'll get to Daenerys.
Mm-hmm.
My theories on Jonathan Snow. Jon Snow's blood was black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have a couple of theories about Jon Snow's birth origin. There's been a lot of things said about and why I think the White Walker, the Night King, is so interested in him. So his mother first. We have not gotten to who his mother is. I am aware that they do tell us who his mother is. So I know for that reason alone, there's going to be at least more storyline about Jon Snow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Jon Snow is dead because it's so far into, so far past the original. I remember seeing like billboards of him.
Are you sure?
Yes. Okay. Maybe not billboards, but I remember seeing a picture of him, and it was like not him on the Iron Throne, but in the room of the Iron Throne, and he hasn't been there yet.
That could have just been a promo picture, though.
Could have been a promo picture. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the fact that you had to say that just helped me out. I
cannot confirm nor deny anything about anything with Jon Snow. Sorry.
I got you. It's all good. These are just my theories. So these are things that I noticed. And
he's like the one character with any mystery to him at this point. So
yeah, I think there's a lot more mystery to him. He's the only person I've seen die with their eyes wide open.
Yeah. He's dead.
I believe he's dead.
He's dead
right now.
Yes.
Right
now, currently he is very dead.
Right this moment, I think he's dead. Yes.
Right.
So his mother, I believe his mother is one of two. She is either a Targaryen or she's not a Lannister or a Tyrell or a Baratheon. But I don't believe she would be a Baratheon because why would his best friend, that would be something that we would already been talking about. Stannis said that
nothing. I'm just so like, oh man, I remember when everybody was speculating about this.
Okay.
I can give you it's not even a clue, but I just want to say one thing that'll make your mind spin a little bit.
Okay.
It's already been established who Jon Snow's mother is, and it's a character that has been brought up before.
Ooh.
So
okay, wait.
I can't give you any more than that.
You don't have.
I'm not going to say.
I got your back. Just listen to the theories. So Stannis says, that because there was an illusion when they were having a discussion, or someone was having a discussion with Stannis about Jon Snow being a bastard, and he made it clear that a whore was not Ned's style. So if Ned was going to cheat on his wife, one, he thought he was going to die. He thought he wasn't going to return home. That's one. Two, it would have been someone else highborn. Yeah. Okay. Now, wait. You now go to the Targaryens, to Aemon Targaryen, right? Aemon Targaryen was married to Ned's sister. That was his wife. But Robert was in love with Ned's sister. I'm thinking the reason that Robert went to take over the Seven Kingdoms and take the Iron Throne wasn't just the Iron Throne. It was to get his woman too. But she died
it's not Aemon Targaryen.
Not Aemon. I'm sorry, Aegon Targaryen.
Yes, right.
I'm sorry, not Aemon. Rest in peace, Aemon Targaryen. That guy was a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
But so Aegon Targaryen. So then, his wife's dead. That's Robert's sister. No, that's Ned's sister, right?
Mhm.
But Robert was in love with her. He loses her.
Yes.
Robert ends up marrying Cersei, so he ends up with the
Yeah.
Lannister.
Yeah.
But back to Ned. Ned is on out to war with Robert, thinking they're not going to return home.
Yeah.
He would have to lay with someone highborn if he's not into the horrors and things, right?
Right.
So the way that will play out to me is this: my sister was married to this crazy MF over here,
Mhm.
dealing with this dude and his nonsense. How do I get back at that family? Oh, he has a sister.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I got to that. I was just started thinking like it wouldn't necessarily be revenge; it would be convenience, but convenience close to revenge. They kind of fall into the same bracket, and I'm like, okay, so that would happen, but then that wouldn't explain John's jet black hair.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably the only thing that throws me off. But
I will say, all I'll say is that you won't have to wait too much longer to find out. So
okay.
maybe
Also,
just
I think John's a dragon.
hold on, patience. Yeah.
And I think when they try to burn him at the pyre, like okay, I just gotta say this. This is the end. I think when they try to burn him at the pyre, he's gonna be reborn. That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, I mean, just hold on, patience. You'll find out all of the things. You'll find out all of them.
If I am right,
I can't say either way. All I'm going to say is that you will find out next season.
And I also want to add just for reference, I did not go looking through anything. I got all of this to really sit in.
It's so hard to stay away. It's so hard to stay away from that stuff. Yeah.
I can't even YouTube the recaps. I have to go back to HBO to watch the recaps.
Right.
If I go to YouTube, I see like all these videos pop up, and I'm just like, no, can't do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. The secret of so and so, and is so and so really this? Yeah, exactly.
You pointed out the Olenna Tyrell and the necklace at the wedding. Oh, I wanted to go back and look at that so bad. I missed this again.
Totally. Yeah.
So speaking of Jon possibly being a dragon and or a Targaryen. We move on to Daenerys. Or did you have anything else to add about Jon or anyone else before we get to Daenerys?
Nah, he's dead. Good riddance.
Yeah, dead man tell no tales.
Yeah.
So actually, before we get to Daenerys is going to be led into by Tyrion. So
yeah,
Tyrion is still in the crate. He gets off the boat and out of the crate with Ser Varys.
And that must have been a really gross trip.
Yeah, what was it, 4 months, I think he said?
Yeah, like 2 months or something out at sea or something like that, yeah.
And Varys had to pick up his poop and everything.
Oh, God.
Man. So, that in itself was like, oh, y'all are going to be the best of friends.
Yeah, Varys is a good friend.
Really
he's a very good friend.
Really good. That dude means so much well in the world. It's kind of like,
yeah.
Dang, maybe it was a good thing to make you a eunuch. Maybe they could have spared you. I don't know.
I know, right? Seriously.
So they have their moment of discussion, and after a while, Tyrion just convinces him, like, yo, I gotta get out of this box. I won't be any use, because what Varys wants to do is take him to be an advisor to Daenerys. And Tyrion's letting him know, you want to use my mind, right? Well, if I lose my mind, I'll be no good to anybody.
Yeah.
So I need to get out of this little box on wheels and do something human. And they go to a brothel. At that brothel is a gentleman who decides when Tyrion goes to urinate, he's going to kidnap him. That gentleman is Sir Jorah Mormont.
Of course. Captain Friendzone.
Right. Captain Friendzone. Because Jorah just wants he wants to find any beautiful trinket to bring back to Daenerys and pray that she'll forgive him and not lob his head off like she says she would.
Which is really kind of gross, because he's like late 40s and she's supposed to be 13 years old.
I said they need to knock it off, didn't I?
yeah, totally.
I have nothing else to say other than they need to knock this crap off.
Right.
But so he goes and they end up getting caught and put into slavery. What I thought was stupid. How do these gentlemen, these pirates who care so much about money and bounty, how do you not know who Tyrion Lannister is?
Oh, they're from Essos, man. Westeros stuff doesn't matter over there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just they don't have they do not give any crap about Westeros.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense, because even the guy was making it clear, like when Jorah was like, oh, the queen doesn't like doesn't do slaves. And it's like, oh, we're not going to Slavers Bay. We're going to Bravos, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
We good.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
You
And
will
then,
be sold.
right. Oh, they talk about what oh yeah, Tyrion saves himself by saying that you need to have what does he say? He's a dwarf's cocks or good luck or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. He's like that they're good luck and they're gonna need to find a cock salesman. But he's like, oh,
Yeah,
but how will he know if it's from a dwarf if I'm dead? And he's like,
that's right.
I think again.
Think again.
I don't know how
That's a
to.
good line.
Right. It's like I don't know how to react to that. I'm just gonna take your word for it. All right, take him.
Right.
Take him.
He is so good at that, talking himself out of trouble, I swear.
For sure. Hey, listen, if there's any talent in real life you need, it's that one.
Yes, absolutely. He could sell ice to an Inuit. That's for sure.
Probably sell snakeskin boots to a snake.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once all of that transpires, though, they get into the fighting pits. Now, at the same time, Daenerys has already allowed the fighting pits to be reopened in Marine. So
yes,
around Essos, they have these people, these slavers who are fighting their fighters, fighting their slaves to find out who's the strongest and who's going to fight in front of the queen.
yes.
Well, Jorah gets lucky, and the queen happens to come to their, I guess we'll call this our amateur match.
Yes, it is an amateur match. Yeah, it's not even like the grand event or anything.
Right. Like she was still within spitting distance of the fighters.
Yeah.
And so he comes out, puts on a show, knowing she doesn't really want to see any depth. He just, shatters people's ego. Crazy. And that's what always gets me is like, oh, when it's time, these dudes just turn into the Hulk and they can do the craziest things in the world. But then when it's, a part of the dialogue and they get smacked up a little bit and they're crying and blubbering in the corner, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, or when their queen rejects them, they
right. Unless you're Dario Naharis, unless you're Dario, he's like the only person who doesn't do that in this series, at least. And so of course she doesn't like the fact that she sees Jorah, but he's like, "I brought you a gift," and she's like, "Oh, but what is your gift?"
Yeah,
just come on, man. Are you going to be a queen, or are you going to be a
child?
Yeah,
a petulant child. Yeah.
So then out walks Tyrion, who she has no clue who he is because he has boots older than her.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm the gift." Dwarf? Like, all right, yeah, I'm Tyrion Lannister. Oh. Why shouldn't I kill you? Well, let's talk so I can explain to you why you shouldn't kill me. Like, what do you mean? I know you want me dead, but I'm here. And that's why I like Tyrion, because it's like everybody wants Tyrion dead, but he's not going to run away.
Yeah.
But so from there, basically, he's gotten along his trip, and now he is in front of Daenerys, and that is where he needs to be. And that's pretty much where Tyrion ends. Yeah. He becomes an advisor, so to speak. And he saves Jorah's life, even though Jorah doesn't recognize or appreciate it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he recommends that she just exile Jorah.
Exiled him again. Yeah. And I was exiled twice because of you. Huh? I could have let you get murdered. You know what?
Yeah, man. And well, I mean, now he has grayscale, so he doesn't have much more time in this world anyways.
I'm about to say, I'm wondering how long that's going to take, because the fact that he has grayscale and it's contagious.
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
Very contagious. Yeah.
Like that's like leprosy, basically, of theirs.
Yeah, right? Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
Right there. You need to, when she exiled him, he should have just left instead of going to the slaver to find his way back in. To me, I feel like now he's trying to give Daenerys grayscale.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Because if she was to say, okay, he's still trying to never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I went there, guys. That's why I said Game of Thrones creators, you need to stop.
Yeah, we don't like having conversations about that kind of stuff.
You get what I'm saying? There's no rabbit holes for that. Just let it go.
Yeah, I know.
So from there, what happens? Oh, so they get to the great game in Marine. And what I thought was so crazy about it was I didn't understand how you have all of these fighters. You only see 6 fighters in total, but there's like 40 fighters down there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them.
But
they're all keeping their distance. Yeah.
Right. They're all keeping their distance.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was very interesting off bat, Because I'm
Oh,
like, wait, this is
don't read too much into that.
oh no, no, okay.
Yeah, I think that's just bad, like set designing sort of thing.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. So it was like
bad.
the extras were just in a really bad place.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The
Okay, that
extras
makes
just
sense.
didn't look like they were doing anything.
Look, they forgot that they were going to shoot a scene in that direction. And that was the extra
Pretty
holding
much.
area for the day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know what's messed up is I've actually seen that where they accidentally put like something like the holding area, and they're like, "All right, so we're just gonna
Yeah,
drop the tent and move the signs, and they're just gonna be in the background."
yep, pretty much. I mean, sometimes they do that.
Yeah, and it's like, don't you want to just move them over there? No, because then we got to pay for that area.
Oh yeah, yeah. Forget it.
Okay.
Need a whole new department just to move it 5 feet.
I need a whole new check from 4 hours away.
Right.
So from there, aside from the slaves or excuse me, the fighters, Jorah wins. Then he chucks a spear right past the nearest head. And at first, I'm like, "Yo, what was that?" I thought he was throwing it at Dario.
Yeah.
And then you
yeah,
realize, oh, he just saved her life because
Yep.
there was a son of Harpy assassin coming for her life. And Dario was so enamored with wanting to stare down Jorah that he didn't see him.
Right. The bodyguard of the queen. Not a
Right.
very good bodyguard.
And that's why you shouldn't be sleeping with your charge.
Yes, absolutely. Daenerys, get your head right.
Because that's the only reason Dario was gonna miss it is because he's still mad or he still think that Jorah gonna slip in and get some before like
Yeah, all the guys around her are just like so like all they want to do is sleep with her. That's why Daenerys bugs me sometimes because I'm like all these simps over her, like all they want to do is get in her pants.
I assume that's what it's like for I was gonna say names, so I'm not gonna say names for certain singers after award shows.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, for sure.
So I like how I never have to say names because they're all depicted as children, even though they're like 13.
Right.
So then the attack commences, and this is why I was asking why I thought about the amount of the fighters that were not doing anything but sitting in the background is all of a sudden you had like 400 Son of Harpy assassins.
Oh yeah.
It's like everybody it was like Oprah had put the mask under the seat for everybody. You get a mask, and you get a mask, and they all just picked them up and put them on.
You're an assassin. You're an assassin, and you're an assassin. Yeah, totally.
And that actually made me think that her husband, his Adoro, I thought he set her up because he was a little late. I had to make sure things were in order until they.
Oh, he was shady. Yeah.
Oh, he was shady. I think he did set it up. However, they didn't like him any more than they liked her because you might have given us the open door, but you're still sitting next to her. So how long before you turn on us?
Yeah. Didn't he get killed?
He did. He got killed right on the podium.
Right. Yeah. So he's toast.
Yeah, he's
good
toast.
Riddance.
So what ends up happening after that, and this is pretty much where we end it.
Drogon,
they're surrounded. Well, first they're surrounded, and I'm sitting there like, think about your dragon. Will up on your dragon. Scream for your. Oh wait, you have 2 of them in chains right now. Okay, you still have one out there, and you may not have realized it yet, but you have a mental connection to them. When you're down and out, they feel it. When you're excited, they feel it. When you're confused, docile, and tired, which we'll find out a little bit after this part, they'll feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as her emotions got high enough, and she was really worried about her safety. In comes Drogon, and this boy comes in like a monolith. Like, first off, he's grown.
No, he's still a baby.
He's still right, and that's the crazy thing is I know he's going to get a lot larger, but he has grown, and I don't. It's not so much his size; it's girth. He's gained more girth now. Yeah. First, it was like, oh wow, he's getting big, but now it's like he's been hitting the weights. You know,
now he's a serious problem. Yeah.
Right. And he had to take out at least 15, 20 people?
Yeah, pretty easily.
Easily, without even
he kept getting stabbed over and over again.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, because his hide's not even strong enough to deflect the spears yet. That's how I knew he was still young. It's like, wait, a dragon scale definitely shouldn't be able to be pierced by just a spear.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like, okay, he's still extremely young. With the size and the strength. And what I didn't understand was, okay, so first we're fighting, and he's taking out some of the sons of Harpies, and some of them are running. But then Daenerys comes over, and she takes a spear out and touches him and climbs on him, and now we're going for a joyride.
Oh yeah, that was a little bit weird and a little bit messed up because Daenerys leaves all of her
That's
people.
everybody. They could have all been killed. They should have all been killed.
They should have, yeah.
That's what I mean when I say I didn't understand. I understand Drogon getting her out of there, whether she liked it or
Yeah,
not. What
for
he
sure.
made you comfortable enough to know you can climb on. Let's rock. I
Right.
get that. I
Yeah.
don't understand how everybody else survived and we don't get any type of a storyline on that.
No, you just yeah. It's
You
kind of
know,
assumed that Drogon was able to kill most of the Sons of the Harpy, and then I guess the Unsullied were able to do the
hold
same.
out the rest. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess because they're clearly all the Unsullied weren't there, and you knew that too.
Right.
Also, I thought it was a little interesting because I was worried that Grey Worm might have got because I'm like, wait, if y'all got it out for everyone, and Grey Worm is down and out, and he's
Yeah.
not being guarded because of the Great Games right now,
Right.
why is he alive?
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
you're
maybe
assassins, but you didn't think that through.
they might have thought they already killed him though, because they left
You
him
know
in
what?
that
You're right.
alleyway.
You're
You
right. They
know,
did
they
leave him in the alleyway. Yeah.
yeah, so they probably just thought he was dead already anyway, so didn't
Fair
need
enough.
to come looking for him. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
But yeah, so from there, we have Daenerys and Drogon are on the mountain cliff, and Drogon is tired and
yeah,
battered and bruised and needs to heal. I also consider I don't think she realized one how much work he just had to put in.
a
Two,
lot.
the fact that he was gone for a few months to muster up all of that energy that he utilized to save you.
Yeah, and dragons need a lot of downtime. So yeah,
So I'm
he
like, you think he's getting up and flying within the next 2-3 days? Good luck.
nah. Yeah, no.
Good luck. He's gonna have to be in
He,
danger, and even then, that's gonna add another day or so to the rest time.
yeah, he's gonna have to recharge his batteries for a while.
Mhm.
But then you get the Dothraki, the return of the Dothraki.
Now, do you think? Well, I know you know, but is that the guy who took the certain people that didn't want to follow her anymore? And he has
I
a much larger
believe
group now.
Yeah, I believe it's the call that came into power after
Drogo.
Drogo.
Okay,
Yeah.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
The one he
So
not Kotho, the one who died, but the elder,
no.
like his
I don't even
his second in
think
charge.
it's I don't even know if that's the guy, but it's just
Oh,
like a
okay.
new call has control over the Khalasar now.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So she'll have to be dealing with that. That's why I said she basically went right back to season 1 at the end of
Yeah,
this.
pun intended. Pun
Yeah.
intended. Right back to season 1. Only
Yeah.
difference is this time you're not set to wed anybody.
Yeah, yeah, and she technically already was wed to a
Drogo,
call.
or call,
Yeah,
yeah, Drogo, a
yeah,
Drogo.
a Drogo. Yeah, man. Well, that's kind of the synopsis for season 5.
That's
Did
it.
you? Yeah. Did you have any other predictions that you wanted to fill us in on? To any other things that you expect?
So I'm again Arya's blindness. I'm very
Mm,
interested to know where that's gonna go. I'm sure she'll get her sight back, but I'm actually not sure she'll get her sight back.
okay.
But there's magic. Um,
Right.
the next time we see Bran, he's supposed to be able to fly. I want to know what that's about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Bran wasn't in this season at
not
all.
at all. Not at
Yeah,
all. Oh, wait, and we did see Riddick or Riddock, Rod,
Rickon.
Rickon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why am I so bad with names? I don't know. But we did see
Rick-
Rickon for. Oh no, we didn't see Rickon.
No,
That
no
wasn't
Rickon.
Rickon. That was Lord Robin when he was left. When
Yes.
Baelish left him. Yeah, that was Robin.
Yeah.
I'm actually
He's,
interested to see what Robin's growth is going to look like as well. Actually,
yeah, he's getting trained in the Vale.
in the van.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all I got for. I mean, I look forward for season 6 for sure, actually, because that's I think that's probably my favorite season, and
Okay.
you'll know exactly why once you watch it. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think I know usually I
Yeah.
do deaths. I want to say I only came to 2 deaths. I don't. Well, also there were a lot of deaths, but not many significant deaths.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
crazy, like oh, that's a crazy death.
Yeah,
And actually, I can just give those now.
yeah,
And if you remember any of for yourself,
for
so
sure.
number 1 death for me, Maren Trant, Arya, because
Mm,
I've been waiting for that.
for sure.
Number 2 death for me is the general that Jon Snow killed, because he didn't know. Like, they were having a real life fighting, but dude, the White Walker knew, like, I'm overpowering him, like, but I'm having fun, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, all right, here's the kill blow. Ting.
Oops.
What's this? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That is very cool. I like that.
And the third, no, like I said, there was two. I want to say there was a third, but it wasn't. There weren't a lot of really good deaths. Oh,
Shireen.
No, that would never be in my favorite. Disappointing you for acting.
I know.
But I will say,
I'm feeling a little dark today.
And you know what? I'm not gonna even knock you. What I was gonna say, and then you said Shireen, so I saved my joke, was the wife.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. That's a good one.
She like she
deserved it.
Want her? Yeah, she made you want her to not be in the picture for a minute.
Oh yeah,
until definitely. That very last moment, and it's like, all right, nah, you're not gonna make me feel about some way about you for 3 seasons, and then in 30 seconds, I'm changing my mind. It's
yeah. Too little, too late, lady.
Way too little, too late.
Yeah.
But Jon Snow, actually,
Jon Snow, yeah, because
I think he's not dead, or because I think he's coming. I know he's coming back, but also because of Ollie. Like, man, Ollie. Man, I expected Alistair and everybody else. Come on, Ollie. You got to get
Ollie, man. And it's a big, he's like, he's pissed off because the wildlings killed his family. I get that, but
when Rickon comes back, and he and Ollie have to have them things,
they have to fight.
Cause see, Ollie gonna be getting trained right there on that wall by them old boys. He ain't the best fighter dead. We said this already.
Yeah.
Where Rickon at? He learned how to fight that young, agile fight.
Do
you see what I'm saying?
We'll see. Yeah. I look forward to season 6, and I look forward to your reactions to season 6 for sure. Indeed. There's some big moments that'll be fun to talk about.
And I think Daenerys is going to get a proposition to marry the Dothraki king this time, the new call.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You're going to have to find out. And you guys are going to have to find out next week when we talk about season 6 on Screen Time Continuum. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're coming back for WandaVision, the bonus episode that we get this week on Saturday at 12 p.m. or 12 noon. So please feel free to join us for that. If you want to see what Keilyn does on his podcast, If Numbers Could Talk, that is on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. I also have a podcast called Exofathom that's on Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. if you want to check that out as well. Other than that, please feel free to give us a like, and a subscription to our YouTube would help us very much. We are trying to grow our channel. We're trying to provide you guys with content, and we really hope that you enjoy these conversations that we have. Please feel free to give us any feedback that you feel you would like to share with us, and we'll be happy to share our thoughts with you. Other than that, you got anything, Keilyn, before we wrap up?
Game of Thrones, to all the creators, knock it off. You know what I'm talking about.
You've been warned. Yeah, absolutely.
I've been just honestly, I've been enjoying this series. I am really glad to be doing this review. I'm actually glad I waited to watch it so that we could do this review. Who knew that this is the reason I wasn't watching it 10 years ago?
Hey man, it's been a lot of fun having these conversations, and it's definitely inspired me to go back and watch this stuff, and like remember why I fell in love with the series in the first place. And so it's been a lot of fun having these conversations with you, and figuring out what you think about all this stuff too. So I hope that our audience feels the same way.
I hope so as well, because I'm definitely a fan as of now of Game of Thrones. I actually was in thinking of buying a new chair, and it had a Game of Thrones logo, and I was like, "Oh, that's the Stark logo," and I was like, "Wait, I know that off the top of my head."
Nerd. Totally. Well, sometimes when you love something, you nerd out over it, and that's okay. But thank you guys so much again. We really appreciate you. Until next time, folks, for Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
And I'm Keilyn.
Thank you so much, you guys. You have a wonderful night.